This is huge news for the Florida Panthers regarding one of their players who has missed significant ice time and his possible return to the playoffs. When he will return, I'll let you know coming up. And the Panthers have a hot goaltender and a couple of hot hands on offense that are going to contribute well into the playoffs. The Panthers hope they can ride those guys all the way through to another Stanley Cup title this year. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on Panthers Digest. I am Greg Andrews, and please hit that subscribe button down below. You need to stay in the know and up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers as they start their journey to possible back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. So we are going to start off with talking about this gentleman right here. We have Bennett back, but the story here is really about Matthew Tkachuk. There's a little bit of conflicting reports because earlier, about 2-3 weeks ago, when the coaching staff and medical staff reported on Tkachuk and his possible return to the lineup, they said he should be ready by game one of the playoffs. Now, there are some reports coming from the Panthers medical staff, personnel, coaches, stating that hey, he looks to be on track. But as Paul Maurice says, as you can see here, we might miss a game, but it's not a couple of weeks. I mean, that's a good sign, but it's not the greatest. To me, that says, well, you know what? He is still not where we want him to be, but we have to see how he practices. Even in this report, it says Matthew Tkachuk will be on ice. He will be practicing with the team, but they have to see how he recovers after these practices. And based on that, they're going to see if he heals and feels good. 24 hours after practicing, they'll probably put him in the lineup. But we will see if his minutes will be limited if he does start in game one coming up, which we will get into that a little bit later on who they will be facing. So yeah, Sam Bennett is back. That's some good news. As is Verhaeghe, as is Barkov, as is all the guys that have been resting. Even Samoskevich has been resting. They have been cycling players out because, as I said in the last episode, Paul Maurice has a plan to make sure his guys are not rested, but are healthy going into round one of the playoffs. He wants to make sure that his team is scarier than the other ones because they're healthier. I've said this before. This season, every season, it is a war of attrition. And these Panthers have fought one in these last 4 weeks. And I'm so happy to say they're going to be healthy in round one of the playoffs for that first game against the Tampa Bay Lightning guys. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens. And another good piece of news that has come out is Aaron Ekblad has been allowed to fully participate in team activities with the Florida Panthers. He was out serving a 20-game suspension, and he still is, but he was not allowed to do any sort of work with the team. So he's going to shake off some of that rust, get back, lace up the skates, get back on the ice, and hopefully be ready for game 3. Remember, he still has 3 more games to serve on that 20-game suspension for PEDs. So guys, this is going to be great. Great. And we're going to see a lot of line changes here. I think it's going to be very experimental in game 1, maybe even tonight when the Panthers face the Tampa Bay Lightning guys. This is going to be such an exciting game tonight. I cannot wait to see it, but we'll get into that in just a few minutes. There's so much other stuff that we have to get to right now. As we look into the game last night against the New York Rangers, Panthers looked good for about a period and a half, maybe a little bit more, a period and 3/4, let's call it. They looked like they had the game dead to rights with a W. Ended up losing 5-3. They were up 3-1, gave up 2 goals and a shorthanded one later in the third period. Just collapse. Just a collapse. You could see in the stat lines here for the game stats, the Panthers had it pretty much in line. And this is usually how the stat lines have looked for the Panthers on every game. They out-hit the other team and they usually outshoot them on average. In my eyes, what I'm looking at here, it's except for the giveaways. That was pretty bad by the Panthers, and that's one of the big reasons why they lost this game were sloppy turnovers. But I'm digressing. That game last night, had they won, would have made tonight's game a lot more interesting because they could have been playing for home ice advantage, possibly. They would need to get a little help from Tampa Bay losing against, ironically, the Rangers in a couple of nights from tonight. But as it would have sat, they could have been neck and neck, tied. But Tampa Bay has more wins overall than the Panthers. So even if they did finish the season with the same point total, the Lightning would hold home ice advantage. Unfortunately, guys. So as we're looking at this, wild card standings right now, here we are. Tampa Bay, home ice advantage, Florida Panthers. Tonight is going to be more of a storyline. This is going to be a game setter for game one of the playoffs. This is going to be a statement game for both teams, I would say. It's going to be physical. They're going to push each other around. I'm going to tell you that we're going to see a lot of face washing. We're going to see a lot of after whistle scrums. There's going to be a lot going on here behind the scenes and behind the action. So keep your eyes peeled for every single inch of this ice. Don't just focus on the puck, guys. There's going to be a lot of action going on in this game. I cannot wait to see it. So as we move forward right now, this is what Paul Maurice had to say, though, about last night's game. He's telling you, our guys are tired. Some of them have played 9 games in 15 days. That is why in last night's game, he rested several guys. They need it. It's not a bad move, especially because guess what? The Panthers already know where they are. I think Paul Maurice said, you know what? I don't want to keep riding our guys trying to maybe have the slimmest of chances to get home ice advantage. I'd rather us be healthy. We're more dangerous when we are completely healthy against other teams that might be more banged up. And that's going to give us a better competitive advantage compared to just having home ice advantage, guys. And it was the same thing with Sam Reinhart. You know, he wasn't happy with the game. They made mistakes. You know, they didn't really follow what they should have been doing. And you could see there wasn't focus at the end of that game. Unfortunately. And we really saw it in that third period. Sloppy mistakes. They were getting pucks to the net. Yeah. But the play was lackadaisical towards the end of that game. They played great for, again, a period and about 3 quarters, and then they kind of just fell off. I don't think they should take their foot off the gas tonight by any means, because it is very, very important that this team is healthy when they start game one of the playoffs. And I'm going to be very interested to see what Tampa Bay, who they have on their injury report, if there are any people. But right now, we will wait and see. So, this is our injury report from last night. A lot of resting. You can see. Very important for these guys to get their rest. A lot of them we haven't really seen on here. You know, Brad Marchand, important. Nico Mikkola, who's been just throwing his body around a lot lately. And this is going to be so key for them to feel nice and warm and ready to just hit the ice, lay the body on there, block shots. I mean, I really think we're going to see a Panthers team that's going to be different from last year's team. Defensively, I think they're going to be more physical. I think they're going to be blocking more shots. They're going to be forechecking a lot harder. And I think they're going to put a lot more of their focus in that neutral zone and look for those turnovers. I just see this team in the last couple of weeks kind of, a lot of experimentation, a lot of trying to see what kind of chemistry works between players. It's been very interesting to see what Paul Maurice has done when he's resting guys, getting them healthy. It's been interesting to see who he's put on different lines together and see how they work. So now with game one and everybody being healthy, I am beside myself with excitement because I do not see this team looking like they've looked in the last 2.5 weeks. I think they're going to look how they did in their 7-game win streak, their 6-game win streak. That's how they're going to look. And they've added faces. I've already said this in the last episode with Jones, Marchand. I mean, Nico Sturm. All of these guys are going to make a big impact for this team, and we're going to see it. But we've got to see what Paul Maurice has in store. There's going to be a lot of shuffling around, I think, but very interesting to see what he has lined up. So this is how Bob is going to match up against the Tampa Bay Lightning. His numbers are very, very good. I went over them in the last episode. 2 goals against average, 93% save percentage. He's really solid between the pipes. Really solid. But so is Andrei Vasilevsky. He is an outstanding goaltender, and he is going to mean business, and he has gotten hot as well. And that's going to spell trouble for these Florida Panthers. It's not going to be easy for them to go up against a goaltender who literally is a giant in between the pipes. I mean, the guy's huge. He's huge. So we'll see how he fares in net against a team who has 2 great goal scorers and great assist men. We'll get into that in a minute. But right now, let's talk about the players who are going to be the impact players for the Panthers heading into round 1 of the playoffs. Obviously, Sam Reinhart, he is their main goal scorer. 39 goals this year, 42 assists. He is right back where he was last year, putting up all kinds of fantastic numbers. His CF percentage is fantastic. He's up there with some of the best, especially with Nikita Kucherov and Braden Point, and we'll get into that in a minute. But he is a difference maker. We need him to stay hot as he has been as of late. He has 6 goals and 2 assists, 8 points in his last 10 games. And we're going to talk about this next fella as well. This is Aleksander Barkov. We all know him very well. He is our captain. And oh man, is he great on defense. And we really need him to be super healthy. And he looks that way in his last few games. His numbers have been great in the last 10. He has 11 points, 3 goals, and 8 assists in his last 10 games. So he has been a difference maker on the ice as well. So let's wait and see how he fares. Can he stay healthy? Again, his CF percentage is very high as well at 62%. And we need him in the faceoff circle as well. Again, he's got that 66% face-off win percentage. So having him ready to rock and roll and just be forechecking, make sure he's battling those guys in the defensive zone when they're in the corner and getting a body on the puck. Let's see how he can get in those shooting lanes and those passing lanes, ladies and gentlemen. And we also have this guy. I already said it. Aaron Ekblad is a full participant at practices now. He's allowed to get back into team activities, and he has been missed. The game's 56, so don't let these numbers fool you. He only has 3 goals on the season, but 30 assists. His biggest thing is about hits and blocked shots. Imagine had he gotten these 20 extra games in. Those hits would be well over 100. His blocked shots would probably somewhere over 85 or 90 on the year. And they really need him again, just like Barkov. They need his body because he's a big dude at 6'4", about 226. They need him on the ice to be checking guys with the body, forechecking, laying out that long reach to disrupt guys when they're trying to pass the puck or even trying to get leverage to get to the net. He's one of those guys that is out there to put his body on the line to protect Bobrovsky. And then Matthew Tkachuk. What else can I say about him? Look at his CF percentage, 66.1% on the year. Yes, only 52 games, but look at the production he's done in those 52 games. Leader. Absolutely. Captain. Should be, but Barkov's been here a lot longer than Tkachuk has. And we could also say this. He's got that mental edge, and adding him with Brad Marchand, with Bennett, they could all be on that same line together, and that's going to be super exciting to watch. I've said it in the past as well. I can't wait to see that line if that's what Paul Maurice decides to do and put those 3 guys together. That is just going to be like, that's going to be, oh my goodness. I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be exciting hockey to see, and I'm telling you, when they need a boost, those 3 guys are going to be the ones to go to get a spark going for this team. I really do think that this team has a darn good shot to repeat as champions as long as everybody's healthy. And again, Matthew Tkachuk's injury, it is an injury with his adductor, And that is a big mover muscle, so that could pose a big problem if he's not able to feel good on that when he does get back on the ice and in uniform, in his sweater for the Panthers. So these are the guys they're going up against. Braden Point, 41 goals, 38 assists. He is, man, he's a difference maker. He is a difference maker, and he really is just that offensive presence that is needed on this team. He generates offense tremendously. He makes it look easy, but no one is more dangerous than this guy right now. 119 points on the year, 36 goals, 83 assists. Nikita Kucherov, there's no one better in the game right now. He is one of the most formidable guys out there that this Florida Panthers team has to defend against. He can be unstoppable at times, and when he is on a roll, it's not going to be easy to have him keep the puck out of the net. That's why this team has to put their body on the line. They've got to get in those passing and shooting lanes. They got to lay the body on this guy and try to make sure they could limit him in terms of in his offensive production and maybe on the defensive side too, because he can do it on both sides of the ice. So yeah, we're gonna be looking at a lot of interesting storylines heading into this round one matchup, guys. I cannot wait to see what this first round is going to hold. But first, we got to get past tonight's game. And that's the one I really can't wait to see, because this is going to be the last time where it's going to be, all right, let's get more physical today. Let's set the tone before game one. I said it last time. This is game 0. Tone setter. Let's get ready to rock and roll tonight, guys. Really exciting hockey. The Panthers are going to be back healthy for game 1. Matthew Tkachuk does have that little asterisk next to his name right now because they still have to see how he's going to do in practice. How is he going to recover? So, but just be excited for this team, guys. Don't think after game 1 or 2, if they go 1-1, that's a great start. If they go 0-2, don't count them out. Don't forget, Aaron Ekblad will be back for game 3, so they're going to get that big defensive pick-me-up from him once he gets on the ice and he's cleared from his 20-game PED suspension.